Welcome everyone to another mock draft here on Couch Potato Diary. Thank you all so much. My name is Peter Klein. You can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm at Primetime Klein, twitch.tv/primetimepk. You can email the show, couchpotatodiary@yahoo.com. For those of you watching on YouTube, yes, I do a podcast at least 3 times a week called Couch Potato Diary. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening, rate, review, subscribe wherever you can. And if you are doing the watching, subscribe and like. If you're watching, you'll notice I'm in the same outfit as I was in on mock draft number 9, taping a couple of these in one day. It's a busy next few days here, so if there's some wild breaking news that I missed from Thursday or from Wednesday into Thursday, my bad. But here we are, drafting from the number 10 spot. We did the number 9 on the one that you watched yesterday. We ended up with Nick Chubb as our starting running back. Liked the team, didn't love the team. So today we are going with another go around, this time from the 10th spot. If you're new to this, all of these are available in podcast form. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it means the other ones are available on YouTube as well. So check those out. But we are doing one draft from each spot of a 12-team half-point PPR. Just a nice meet in the middle spot there. So that is what we are doing. Drafts 1 through 9 already completed. It is time to see what we would do with pick number 10. So we are going to hit start draft. We are going to hit OK, and we are into it. Once again, I forgot to mute. So let's see. How do the first picks go? McCaffrey, Jefferson, Kupp. Interesting. Then Eckler, Chase, Tyreek Hill goes after Travis Kelce. Bijan Robinson is drafted ahead of us. We haven't had Bijan yet, but Saquon Barkley goes, so that is an obvious, it's almost an auto draft for us at this point. It is Nick Chubb. I just think Nick Chubb is so talented. He's going to get, I think, a bit more of the pass catching this year in Cleveland. He is basically the only back they have, and that can be a bit of a, as some like to say, a crutch argument, but it is one that pays off when you have someone as talented as Nick Chubb. So we are going to go with Nick Chubb as the 10th overall pick. A.J. Brown, Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, and Stephon Diggs go ahead of us. So when it comes back around, I'm going to go with some Raider fan bias here, and I'm going to go Devontae Adams. So we are locked in now. We have a high-level running back, and we have a high-level receiver. I'm feeling very good about where we are going. Another quarterback comes off the board in Josh Allen. 2 more receivers in CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown, along with Wilson, Waddle, and Olave. Another quarterback as well, Jalen Hurts, and a boatload of running backs have come off of the board. Now it swings back around to us. So at quarterback, it's Lamar with Burrow, Herbert, Fields, and Lawrence. At running back, we have Joe Mixon available, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, and Damian Pierce. And a wide receiver, it's DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. And at tight end, there's Kittle, Hawkinson, Waller, and Pitts. Joe Mixon being there really intrigues me. I do think he has fallen off a step, but Joe Mixon is an intriguing player to me at running back. And I feel like he's not going to be there if it swings back around. We have been going Deebo Samuel pretty heavy in the third round. Deebo might not be there either, but we look at team 11, they've gone wide receiver. So I don't think they're going to go Deebo there. Team 12 might with Mahomes and Henry, but I'm going to take a risk here and go Joe Mixon. We'll see if Deebo comes back around to us. Lamar Jackson goes, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, and then swinging back around to us, getting Deebo Samuel in the 4th round is just proof positive of what I said before, that that Deebo Samuel is being highly undervalued in fantasy football drafts this year. I think, like, again, we've gone through it on a number of these, so if this isn't the first one you're watching of me, you're going to be sick of this, but extremely dynamic, high-powered offense, runs all the routes, catches all the passes. They'll use him out of the backfield. Like, they want to get the ball in his hands, and he has the talent to back it up. So with a smile on my face and a tear in my eye, I will take Deebo Samuel, and we are loaded on this team. This might be my favorite team so far. Joe Burrow goes right after us, then a couple of running backs and Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker, followed by a couple of wide receivers and Keenan Allen and DeAndre Hopkins. 2 more quarterbacks come off. A couple of tight ends have come off of the board as well. So we're starting to feel that pressure of having not gone with either of those positions. Comes back around to us. At quarterback, it is Trevor Lawrence and then the dreaded dip. At running back, it is Cam Akers. Running back's already dipped, for the record. It's Cam Akers, James Conner, DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, and Javonte Williams. And at wide receiver, it is Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk. Those are all players that I am fine passing on. So we are going to go quarterback here. I cannot dip into that second tier. I have not and will not. So we are going to go with Trevor Lawrence there. After Lawrence goes Akers, Christian Watson, James Conner, Kyle Pitts. So we come back around to tight end and we get Darren Waller. And now we are set in those two positions right before the bottom absolutely drops off. You could have gone Goddard in there. Evan Ingram is also fine if you do kind of slide through that. But all of the players that are coming after this, I am totally fine not having to deal with that big dip at quarterback and wide receiver. At quarterback and tight end, having passed on them. So now available to us at running back is David Montgomery, A.J. Dillon, Antonio Gibson, and Zach Charbonnet. At wide receiver, it is Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dodson, Brandon Cooks, and Gabe Davis, along with Zay Flowers. So there are a lot of options here that we like. We've been going Deontay Johnson a little bit more, and we are going to continue that trend, going Deontay Johnson there. Josh Dotson goes right after us. Then it's Montgomery, Ingram, and A.J. Dillon. So we are back on the clock at the running back spot. I'm going to go Antonio Gibson. I don't think he makes it back all the way around to us at the 10th pick of the 9th round. And I've taken Gibson a lot. I don't know if I've explained it very well any of the times. I think that he is the most talented running back in that running back room. I'm not a big Brian Robinson guy. I am hopeful that the fumble issues have gone away. Now it's a big issue, but that was the only issue he had. He's an incredibly talented kid, and I think in an Eric Bieniemy offense, he's going to really thrive out there in Washington. So Antonio Gibson is our pick. Freiermuth goes immediately after. Along with David Njoku, Watson and Prescott go. Charbonnet is someone who I like a lot, but we don't seem to end up with him. Zay Flowers going kind of stings a little bit. Quentin Johnston as well. Khalil Herbert, I was really hoping he would swing back around to us there. But a number of guys that we like to take have gone in the 8th, 9th round area here. So we are back at running back with Rashad Penny, Jamal Williams, Samaje Perine, and Elijah Mitchell with Devon Achane there as well. At wide receiver, it is Schuster, Odell Beckham Jr., Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, and Rashad Bateman. So not in love with any of the selections here. This might feel a little early, but I want to see what it looks like. We are going, is this the first defense off of the board? No, the 49ers have already come off of the board. We are going to go with the defense, and we are going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. After us, the Cowboys defense goes, along with running backs Jamal Williams and Rashad Penny, quarterback Quentin Richardson, and now we are back on the clock. At running back, it's Samaje Perine, Elijah Mitchell, Devon Achane, and Ezekiel Elliott. At wide receiver, it is Juju Smith-Schuster with Odell Beckham Jr., Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, and Rashad Bateman. Be perfectly candid, I don't love any of the options that are available to us right now. And so at this point, it feels like a bit of a reach, honestly, but I'm going to go with Tank Bigsby here. I think he is going to be the number one running back out in Jacksonville, and I just like his upside higher than any of the running backs that were available in that area there. I would like one more wide receiver to build our depth up a little bit, and I think we can get there with some of the options who we like later on in these drafts. Ezekiel Elliott was someone who we had maybe a bit of an eye on as this swings back around to us, but he was not available. At wide receiver, there are, again, still a couple of spots who we don't mind. So we are picking here in the 11th round with the 10th pick. We have one spot that we need to use for a kicker. So we have 4 more spots available for players that we like to maybe take some home run swings on. I'm going to go Jaylen Warren here, another one who we've been ending up with quite a bit in these drafts. I think that he is the most talented running back in Pittsburgh on a team that likes to run the ball a lot. So it's going to help a little bit. We have missed on this player a few times. We're not going to miss on him today. Kendre Miller is going to be our next pick. He's going to have, I think, a lot of the carries in that backfield to start the season with Alvin Kamara being suspended for 3 games. So we get some high upside early on. We can either flip that player or we can keep him depending on how things go as we look to kind of build out our depth here. But this is something we've talked about before. Wide receiver starts to fall off when we get into this area, and there's more running backs that we like late than there are wide receivers that we like late. That's why we do try to get a few more wide receivers in this area a little bit more. And you could make an argument that may be why we should be waiting on quarterback to go on down. I just feel like there is such a teardrop at that point. But we are back now with the 10th pick of the 13th round. So we're going to have not back-to-back picks, but pretty close to it. And we are going to go first with Romeo Dubs. Oh, that's interesting. My mouse just died. So I'm going to be a bit uncomfortable in making some of these with my thing over here. But Romeo Dubs is going to be our next pick. After that, it is Vaughn, Higbee, Myers, and Myers, actually. One's a kicker and one's a wide receiver. So we have 2 picks left. This is our last skill possession pick, and our boy is still sitting there. Darnell Mooney, number 2 option, and a team that's going to be passing the ball a bunch. Darnell Mooney goes with our last pick. So now it is going to swing back around to us. Oh, hey, where are we here? Oh, no. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong things. I think yes, this is the draft that we want, right? Yeah. All right, so that was awkward, but we have figured it out. And back to our kicker. With our last selection, it is, of course, Dicker the kicker. And with that concludes this draft. And you know what? I like this team a lot. I've said that a lot, but the strategy that we have been implementing, getting the quarterback, getting the tight end kind of locked in, I like how it's been going. Chubb, Adams, Mixon are top 3, Deebo Samuel at 4. That is an excellent starting 4 to build around. So our starting quarterback in this draft is Trevor Lawrence. Our running backs are Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon. Our receivers, Deebo Samuel and Devontae Adams. Darren Waller is our tight end. And our flex is probably going to be Deontay Johnson. And then we have a lot of running backs. Antonio Gibson, Tank Bigsby, Jalen Warren, and Kendre Miller, with Romeo Dubs and Darnell Mooney providing the depth at wide receiver. So we're a little lighter wide receiver. A little lighter than we'd want to be. But overall, this is a strong team, and I'm really happy with how this is all played out. So that is it for this mock draft. Mock draft 11 will be coming out during the episode for Fights in Football Friday on Couch Potato Diary. Mock draft 12 will be coming out in a special episode on Saturday. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, leave a like. Always appreciated. If you're listening in podcast form, rate, review, subscribe wherever you can. Going to be a busy episode coming up on Friday, so I will talk to you all later. Have a wonderful day, everyone.